everyone, I'm Misha from Made Up Research, and today I wanted to do like a little de-influencing myself video, which is not like people usually do when I show you products that I hate and I'm telling you not to buy them. This is gonna be a different situation. I noticed some things about myself, about certain products I cannot resist, certain things I keep buying over and over in hopes that something else is gonna happen, and things like that. So I would like to take all these habits, expose myself, call myself out, just, tell you what my horrible shopping habits are, I guess. And maybe if you have them, this is gonna help you too realize that you might be buying something over and over for no reason. So let's start off with a little primer section. I have an issue with buying primers because I love primers. As you know, I believe in priming very much, but I've been doing a couple horrible mistakes. The first one is buying stick primers. Recently, I bought this Catrice Cooling Face Stick. It's a stick primer. It's supposed to be cooling, hydrating. The problem with these is that they're so incredibly dry and almost nothing comes out. So there's no hydration. It just feels like this waxy kind of cold substance. And this is not the first time this happened to me. So I swear I'll never buy another stick primer because these are so useless. Like never do I ever reach for them because they drag on my skin. They usually pill up with my sunscreen or other skincare and I just don't like them. Why do I keep buying them? I don't know. I guess I always hope that something's gonna change in the formulation, but it never does. Speaking of formulations, the second thing I have to talk about are blurring primers. I'm not gonna be buying blurring primers until I check if they're not just pure silicone. Like this one from Rival Loves Me, this is the Le Petit Paris Blurry Primer. And I thought, you know what, this is cute. I could use this for like my pores and stuff. The problem is when this comes out, it's this, it doesn't even hold on my hand, does it? It's like this really silicone-y, like very 2004 silicone primer. And I hate that so much. Like my skin cannot take this. I cannot use this. I hate silicone on my skin. So this is just gonna go to someone I know or straight to the bin because no, this was a flop. So I guess this is like a New Year's resolution, I'm not going to be buying primers that are supposed to be blurring unless I check if they're not full of silicones. And the last primer thing I have, which is kind of like in general, my skin is not dry. I have to realize that buying primers like these, this is the Milani Skin Quench Hydrating Primer, which is pretty much like a thick moisturizer. Like if you take this out of the tube, see, like this is just kind of thick moisturizer. I wouldn't probably use this for a day cream, let alone a primer. So I have to stop thinking that my skin is dry and needs this kind of quench and hydration and this like layer of hydrating and moisturizing because it doesn't. I have to work in thin hydrating layers, not these. So even though this is actually quite a nice primer in terms of the texture and everything, it's just too thick. It's too heavy. Like, I like the ingredients in it and I believe it's a good primer if you have dry skin because this is a lotion. This is not really something I would prime with usually. So, note to self, I don't have dry skin. Another thing I have a weak spot for are tinted eye creams. Have you ever heard me talk about one? I don't even know, but I have actually multiples of the very similar things. So we do have this like under eye primer, we have this brightening under eye cream that is like pink, and we have this brightening eye stick from Essence, which again, kind of like a pink. The problem with these is that I'm too lazy. I'm just lazy to use so much stuff under my eyes. I think if any of them would be like actually good eye cream, I could get away with using it instead of my eye cream, but not really. Like this is kind of like a cosmetic thing. This isn't really caring that well for the eyes and it's pretty dry and I don't really like the texture. This one, same thing, I don't really like the texture. I also don't really love the color. And this one I haven't tried it, but I had to get it because I was like, what if it's the one? What if this is the one? Well, I gotta stop, okay? I already have 3, like I don't need another one. The next products are not bad, but they're just a little bit unnecessary sometimes. And I want to talk about finishing powders. If you are very low effort with your makeup, you probably never heard of it, you don't own it, you don't want it, and that is completely fine. With me, I've had a few, I like them, but then I realized that I'm kind of hoarding them a little bit, and they all do essentially the same thing, and usually for me, It's like brightening up the skin as like the last powder step. And this goes from like high end, from the Rare Beauty Tinted Pressed Finishing Powder, which I thought is going to be more like a powder foundation. It's really not. It is more a finishing powder. But then I got things like these, like a little bit more highlighty ones, like this one from Vicon. And this one from Kiko, which again, like really pretty, kind of highlighty powders, but not really, in like the Hourglass family of powders, I would say. Or this No Filter powder from NYX, which also was all the rage at one point. And I just have too many of these. I don't use them enough to have that many. Yeah, if you want a highlighting powder, hit me up, I guess. Yeah, but then being said, I do love the finish they give me. It's just that I always kind of just jump for the new one because it looks different from the ones I have. But then at the end, it's not that different on the skin. So yeah, I'm just like easily baitable, I guess. Another thing I'm a sucker for are cream bronzers. Like every time I see a new cream bronzer, I always like have to check, is it similar to the ones I already have? The answer is usually no, because of some very arbitrary property, but also yes, because of the shade. Like I'm not gonna be buying 10 shades of bronzer, I'm just one skin. Most of the bronzers I have are in the same like shade category. Some are a bit different, but most of them are just the same shade. And like just to show you what I'm talking about, like sure, you can have like pan cream bronzers. Those are usually nice, a little bit on the drier side, but I also have things like sticks, you know, because they're travel friendly, they're really easy to use. But then I have like these, you know, the wands, because the wands were all the rage, so I have one too. But then I saw this one from Catrice and I thought, oh my god, this actually looks like really nice. It's similar to the wand, but also kind of to the cream and stick, and it's just, why, right? Like why? Then you have these like kind of bronzy, serum-y things, like this Makeup by Mario thing. Or you have like gel textures, like this one from KVD, which again, like a concealer packaging. So I guess I'm just a sucker for packaging looking at these, really. Because of course they're all different. They're all different shades slightly, different finish, different application process. But it's still a bronzer, and this is not all of them. So yeah, one thing I should take from this is I do not need another bronzer. Speaking of liquid cheek products, I also want to touch on the topic of finding the perfect liquid blush. Because I've been obsessed with liquid blushes since they came out. I was always drawn to the like liquidy, weird jelly textures. And I've been a big fan of liquid blushes. But the problem is that the shade ranges brands put out are usually very similar. And then things like this happen, where you have like 5 of the same blush. Some of these are almost the same. Like this is Wet n Wild, this is e.l.f. Almost the same. This is Rare Beauty, slightly different because it's in frosted glass, but very similar shade. But then you got all these, you know, like squeezy ones. And again, which shade are you gonna go for? The corally pink or the corally pink? I need more shades of stuff. I should get into the habit of, when I see a new product, I shouldn't go for the same everyday shade. I should go more out there. I should try more stuff. Like, that is something that I usually do. But with these, like, liquid blushes, I'm always like, oh, but if it's gonna be, like, some insane color, is it even gonna look good on me? Like, is it gonna be a good idea to wear it? So on one hand, I don't really want to waste money buying shades that are clearly not for my skin tone. But at the same time, I want to try the formulas, you know? I want to know. So it's, yeah, I should think about this a little bit more, I guess. This calling myself out is exhausting, actually. Another thing I want to talk about is my beef with dark blue eyeliners. Because for some reason, I always try... Oh my god, is this dried out? I always try and go and find, like, the perfect blue eyeliner. Because, you know, I got blue eyes, I got this reddish pink hair now. It goes pretty well with some nice blue pop of color. But it's never the blue that I want is the issue. Every time I get a new blue eyeliner, I'm like disappointed and I don't know what I'm expecting. It's the same every time. Like, look at these. Okay, all of these are like, yeah, look at them and you're like, oh yeah, they're blue. But this is like a sky blue. This is a really weird dark blue. This is like a purpley blue. And this is just like a dark teal. It's just never the blue. And what do I keep doing? I keep giving them a chance. Is that correct? Should I be doing that? No, I don't think I should. So I probably have to just stop. Also, I had this one, which was probably the best, from Made by Mitchell, and now it's dried up. What the hell? That's just sad. Yeah, so it's a trap. I just wanted to tell you that it's a trap. Next category is brow soaps. Now, the thing is that I always thought I bought the wrong one. So I kept buying more, seeing if they work better. Because everybody was raving about brow soaps, about how it's the best thing ever. It's gonna tame your brows. They're gonna look beautiful, fluffy, just like laminated. You know what's the issue with my brows? Unless you laminate them, they're not gonna do shit if you put on soap. So technically I was not really wasting the money. I was just spending it for later me when I get lamination, which is what I have on now. That's why they're so fabulous and dark, because they're freshly done. But this is the issue, because they always everybody acts like it's gonna do everything for your eyebrows. Like it's so easy, you know? It's just, it does everything. It holds them, it defines them, they look full, they just lay on the head where you want them. Lies and deception. Never has it worked like that for my thick ass brows. So I would just like to say that, yes, now that I have actually laminated eyebrows, I do understand why people love the pink honey, which is expensive, by the way. Can you imagine buying that and finding out that your brows are just not made for that? First of all, I should stop buying them because you don't use these up easily. And second of all, people should stop lying about all of these false results. You know how long it took me to realize that no matter what I do to those eyebrows, if I don't groom them properly, they're not gonna do anything? This was just more like a complaint that people lie. Surprise, surprise, I guess. And the last thing I want to talk about are medium liquid eyeshadows, I think I could call it. Because I have a thing for like toppers, super shock shadows, single glitters, things like that. Like I have a bunch of stuff that is just like one liquid eyeshadow or one eyeshadow in a pan, and you know, like these special effect thingies. Now the issue is that I usually look at the color and I don't think about it in the context of how I'm gonna use it. So when I buy liquid eyeshadow, I usually want it to highlight some portion of my eye. That's usually the purpose, at least when I do my eye looks. Because if I do a look that is too dark, like not intentionally, but that like medium depth, I just feel like it looks horrible on me. That's just my opinion. Maybe it doesn't, I don't know. But I've been buying a lot of these, and I'm just gonna be real with you. Eyeshadows like this, which do look really pretty, and it's like a duochrome, like these don't do anything for the eye look for me. Is it cute? It's hella cute. But like, it just doesn't look good. It doesn't look good at all in my eyes. So I guess I'm just kind of mad at myself for buying these all the time. Because it's not the last one, my friends. Oh, no. We also have, for example, this one, which is a little bit more sheer, so you could use it as a topper. Okay, this one catches the light a lot more, but still, it's like a pretty medium dark color, so if the light doesn't hit it, it's gonna look very like dark on the lid, and I don't really enjoy that. So, you know, maybe I should just think a little bit more about the shades when I'm buying them. Like how exactly am I gonna use this shade in this depth on my eye when it just looks like this if the light doesn't hit it? That's usually the issue, that they look fine when you look at them under the light, but then they just turn this like kind of muddy browny or greeny color, and what you gonna do with that? And I guess that's all I wanted to say to myself today. So maybe you saw yourself in some of these bad habits and things I keep buying over and over, or I was buying over and over. And maybe this is gonna help me or us grow and make better purchasing decisions. So I think the biggest takeaway is sometimes you gotta, you know, put a mirror in front of yourself and be like, you shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be buying that. And you should genuinely think about what you need and what you don't, because I feel like this crazy makeup over consumerism is over. Clearly, as you can see, I've got a lot of leftover from that era, but that doesn't mean that, you know, I have to throw away everything now. No, I'm gonna make better choices from now on and make videos that don't depend on just buying new crap all the freaking time. So like and subscribe this video if you enjoyed this little self-shaming, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. Not sure if of the self-shaming, but I do upload stuff occasionally. And I will see you at the next one. Bye!